for enabling trace, okay, for enabling trace, you just need to go to monitor integration APIs, find the respective iFlow for which you want to enable trace. So go to started. So I want to enable trace for this iFlow. So click on that and move right side, and here you click on trace. Okay. So after enabling trace, you can trigger the message by deploying the iFlow. So why are we deploying the iFlow is for the message to process. That is the reason we are deploying the iFlow. Okay. So if we deploy the iFlow, then only message will process and we can troubleshoot. It's not like all iFlows we need to deploy here. Why we have to deploy it here? Because we have designed iFlow in such a way that iFlow will start once after every deployment. Okay. So because of the start timer, we are deploying every time when we want message to be flown. Okay. So I deployed it. So now if you see, go to monitor. See, now there is a message processed. See here, these are actually new features. Earlier it was not there. Retention period. See, for completed messages 30 days, for uncompleted messages 30 days. That means messages will be available in system for 30 days only. Okay, after 30 days this message will not be visible here. Okay, now click on trace here. It will show all the steps, right? So today we are going to discuss a topic, okay, message exchange. Message exchange. Okay. So this message exchange helps us how message process. Okay. How message process from here to here. From here to here. Likewise, how many steps are there? Okay. Likewise. So at each and every step, suppose if you check here, so here you need to understand there is something called message content. If you click on message content, you see three things here. One is header part, one is properties, another is payload. Payload is nothing but actual body of the message. Okay. So at every step, you see there will be these three. Every step. See, at this point we have a body generated. Okay. Similarly like this at every step. That is why this is described as a camel exchange. Okay. So how it is? Camel exchange consists of these things. So one is incoming message. Okay, one is incoming message. One is outgoing message. Am I correct or not? So at every step, suppose if you take this particular step, For this particular step, there will be incoming message, right? Suppose modifies body. This is the step. It has a incoming message and outgoing message. Okay, with respect to this step. So incoming message means message contains actually three parts. Usually message contains three parts. One is message header. One is message header. One is message header. One more is message body. Message body. One is message body. And last one is attachments. So every message may contain these three. Right? Every message may contain this. Similarly, every message contains properties, every message contains properties. These are we call as exchange properties. What it is? Exchange properties. Similarly, there is something called message exchange pattern. Message exchange pattern. Message exchange pattern. And one more is exception. Exception. One more is the ID of the message ID, or message ID kind of thing. Okay. So these are the different parts, okay, that camel message exchange contain. Now what happens whenever message processes through one particular block of an integration flow? Suppose, see here, I keep things side by side. Just for your reference. Suppose take this block, okay? Take this block. How do we do here? It's not coming. Anyway. So if we keep like this, okay. See here, the incoming message for this particular block, okay, it will be stored in this part of message ID, or this is called exchange ID. This is called exchange ID. Okay. Whenever iFlow starts, right, one exchange will be created with an ID, exchange ID. Okay. One unique ID will be created in the system. So in that ID, whatever the incoming message for this block, that details will be filled up in this portion of exchange. In this portion of exchange. Similarly, so incoming message means it could be header, it could be body, it could be attachments in message. Similarly, the exchange properties will be here. Similarly, message exchange pattern. What is message exchange pattern? I will tell you. Message exchange pattern is nothing but the mode of processing. Okay, whether it is synchronous or asynchronous. So that will be filled up here. So once this steps executes, right? This step executes, what happens? You will get the output message. That will be filled up here. Okay. So this entire exchange will be given. So I mean, there will be one more block. Assume there will be one more block. So what happens? This output message will become the input to the next block. Am I correct? So likewise, data in the message exchange will be changed, and finally it reaches the end message. Okay. Whatever is there in the out message at this particular step will be sent out to the output. Okay. So only this particular block, whichever is the out, this particular block, out message block, right? This will be sent out to the receiver. Okay. So then what is this exception? Suppose in this message processing, if at any place, any exception nothing but error. Okay. If you face any error, that particular error information will be stored in the exception part of the camel message exchange. Okay. Guys, I have shown message exchange in a boxes like this, but in system point of view, whenever message hits our integration flow, so there will be some memory will be allocated. Memory will be allocated with different partitions. Some memory for in message, some memory for out message, some memory for exception, some memory for exchange properties, some memory for message exchange pattern, memory for exchange ID. Entire that allocated memory will be identified by exchange ID. Exchange ID. Okay. So now what happens? Suppose here, if you see in this particular step, before this particular step, there is no body. Before this particular step, there is no body. Body is empty. Okay. Body is empty. Body is empty. But the content modifier, what it does? Content modifier? See, if you see, it is highlighted, modifies incoming message with additional information. So modifies incoming message with additional information. That means this is the incoming message and also exchange properties, everything. So the content modifier is used to change or to modify the body of the incoming message, or the header of the incoming message, or the attachments of the incoming message, or the exchange properties of the incoming message. So in this particular case, it modified the body. So incoming message has empty body, but here it has written something like, what it has written, guys? Something, this is first integration, something we have written, na? Okay. This is first integration. Okay. We have written something like that. This is the camel exchange of content modifier. In message is empty, out message contains some data. Okay. Incoming message may contain data. In that case also, content modifier may replace the body of the incoming message. Okay. The body of the incoming message. So for example, what will happen? See now, let me take one more content modifier. click on edit. So guys, here, how do you drag? So select the option you wanted to and see. Just see the difference. When I move my cursor, the arrow is getting highlighted. So whenever the arrow gets highlighted, just click over there. It automatically connects to that particular line. Got it? So what I will put it here. Okay. Data. So now what happens? I will save. Okay. So I will save. Before deploying it, I will open my integration flow and I will enable the trace again. So whether trace is available, trace is not available. See, I am in manage integration content and iFlow, it is info. So I am reverting it to trace again. Okay. So now I will deploy the iFlow. Now I want you guys to pay attention here. Okay. See, this is the message which just processed. Yeah. See now, just you need to see here. This is the start timer, right? First step. At first step, there won't be any data in it, right? So there won't be any data. Modifies body. This is nothing but input to the content modifier. If you check the payload, which is empty. So the output of content modifier would be whatever we have written here. See, hello, this is this first email. Okay, this first email. So the output of content modifier you can see in the next step usually. See, in integration flow, the output of any step you can check as input of the next step, correct? So similarly, here the output of modifies body is nothing but input to this one. So here you will see the output. Hello, this first email. Okay. So this is the output of content modifier with the name modifies body. So now if you see what it is, this first email, not integration, email. So this is so just for your understanding, see. So this we can think as the first content modifier. Okay. So for the first content modifier, the incoming message is empty, but outgoing message contains this is the payload. Now you have to understand this will become input to the second content modifier. Okay. So second content modifier. So I put the same second content modifier. For second content modifier, input will be this. This will be the input for the second content modifier. But what is the output? So content modifier, we have written the body as data of content modifier 2. So this, the output of content modifier 2 can be seen at the step end. So that is why, so if you click on the end, In this particular step, you can see the output of content modifier 1. See. So now what has happened here? See, this is the first content modifier. Here, the body of incoming message, which is empty, which is replaced with some non-empty message. Now, this is the second content modifier. At second content modifier, the incoming message has some body, which is still replaced by some different thing. Some different thing. So this is one of the example which says content modifier helps to modify the incoming message with additional information. Or you may say content modifier replaces incoming message body with some different data. Some different data. So always remember, assume in the second content modifier, I don't give anything here. So I don't give anything. So in this particular case, in this particular case, if you do not put anything in the body of the content modifier, then whatever the body comes to this content modifier as an input, that body will be sent to the output as it is, because you haven't mentioned anything to replace, so it will not replace anything. It will simply whatever the body received here, it will send to the output. Let's see. So let's go to the next message, which is third message. Still we will have trace. So in this particular case, see, there is the modifies body. After that, this content modifier has nothing. This content modifier has nothing. So it is not showing anything here. So directly end the step. Okay, there is no modification done. Okay. So this is simple example of how content modifier works. This is simple example, guys. We have to discuss so many things about content modifier. This is one simple example how content modifier is used to replace the message body. How content modifier is used to replace the message body. Okay. So now let's come to this point. I have deleted that extra content modifier. See here. So we discussed some what is one of the options, message body, how these things works, we discussed. Now what is this message header? What is this property? Okay, so let's see message header. If I click on the add, create, just I create something constant. Similarly here, okay, let's see what happens. I just defined something, one header I defined. The name of the header is order number. One more property I have defined. The name of the property is name itself. Okay, otherwise I'll put ID. The property is ID. Okay, let me save. So before saving and deploying, I would like to check whether trace is still on or not. So trace is still on 9:35. Within 1 minute it will expire. So what I will do, I will make it to info and again I will change it to trace. Okay, now it will be available till 9:44. So now deploy. Okay. So now let's see. Now let's see. Go to message processing. Fourth one, this one. If you see what happened there, trace is enabled, right? Let me deploy one more time. I think trace is not affected. It is there. Okay, click on trace. Now see, so as we know, the output of modifies body, this block, you can be seen at input, this one. Okay, let's see, go to message content. Yeah, you see the payload, you see the header. See, what is this? This is what we created here. Okay, so that means whenever we create something in the header, message header section of content modifier, it will be visible in the header part of message content. Similarly, whenever I create something in the exchange property section of content modifier, it will be visible in the exchange properties. See here somewhere, ID, smart choice. That means literally you are accessing header part of the content modifier. So in the header part, in the header part of the message exchange, you created a variable called order number. You created a variable called order number. Okay, this is created in the header part of the message, guys. Okay. Similarly, when I create property, it will be exchange properties. Okay, when I create property, what property I created? I created a property of name ID with value smart choice. This is the property which I created in this section. Got it? So what is the use here? What is the use of creating something in the header, something in the properties? What is the use? Okay, so the use, if you talk about the use, simply in real time while working in an iFlow, there will be n number of blocks like this. One is a content modifier, one more is a converter, one more is encoder, one more is a external call, one more is a router, one more is likewise. There will be n number of blocks. As per the requirement, whatever is required, there will be n number of blocks. It is very much required that some cases suppose incoming message, there will be incoming message which contains some information. That information, I need to use it in multiple places of the iFlow. Okay. Suppose incoming message is a order confirmation message which contains an order number, I need to use that order number in multiple places of the iFlow, multiple places, multiple blocks of the iFlow. Okay. So in that cases, this content modifier helps you to read that order number from the incoming message and store it somewhere in the message exchange. Either you can store it in the exchange properties or you can store in the header part of the message. Once something is stored in the header or exchange properties of the message, okay, once it is stored here, then that particular information can be retrieved, can be used at later point of time. Any number of times you can use it at later point of time, any number of places. So how do you use? So here, whatever we have done is writing some data into header section or exchange properties section. We have written some data into these two sections, okay, by using content modifier. So now I want to use the same information at the later point. For that, you can use camel expressions. Suppose I have defined order number here, right? I want that order number to be part of the mail subject. Like this. Email for the order confirmation. Email for the confirmation of the order. Here I need to get order number. Suppose assume order number we have defined in the header part. So to access that, you use the camel expression dollar. Which part of it is header part we have defined? Header dot. What is the name of that? Order number. This is what we call as camel expression. So which part you have created the variable header part and what is the name of the variable, and this brace and dollar is the syntax. So time is over.